Hello, and welcome to a training on dynamic QR codes. We're going to talk about where they go, the merge fields, and how to send them effectively. So first of all, we're going to start in our saved projects because you must have the merge field on your project in order for a dynamic QR code to work. So if I come into my card here, and let's say I want to put my dynamic QR code on the inside top. I'm going to come over to my photos section, go to my dynamic images, and within here I will find the dynamic QR code here. It looks like because I saw the one there before, it's probably on the back of my card, and that's okay. We're going to put a big one right here. So I put that merge field here. Now the merge field by itself is fine, but it won't work until we connect it with a URL. So I'm going to clean that one up so that we just have one. Let's preview our project. So it'll show the front, and when they open it, there's a giant dynamic QR code here. This dynamic QR code, the reason it's indicated as a dynamic is because it is unique to each recipient. And then my logo and my information, my company information on the back. Save and exit. This is just making sure that we have no spelling or grammatical errors and the photos are displayed correctly. If I am satisfied, I will continue to exit. This will bring me back into the saved projects. And now our next step in utilizing the dynamic QR code is to put it in an automation. So if I come into my saved automations, I'm going to create a new drip automation. I'm going to call this my dynamic QR code automation. It's going to be a drip automation. Drip automations are the most popular and tend to be utilized the most. Once I click that, I do need to click down here on the bottom for create new automation, and I'm going to add my first shipment. Once I'm working in the shipment, I need to add my item. So my item is the card that has the dynamic QR code merge field on it. Add that to the shipment. Now, if I were to go in and add more cards, this is all going in one shipment. That is not what we want to do. We want them to be individual shipments. On this shipment as well, I can then give it a name, shipment 1, and when to send. Typically, when it is the first shipment in an automation, it's going to go immediately in a drip automation. Subsequent automation shipments will have a delay as to how many days after the previous shipment that I want it to go. Notice there is a section here for a QR code. I can put a QR code here for anything that I want. Let's say I put one there for Pinterest. I want them to go to my Pinterest board. So if I put that in here, I am going to save this. When I save this, notice that it highlights in purple. This tells me there is a QR code, a URL associated with this card. Now there are two places that you can put the URL. I can put it on the shipment level here, or I can put it on the automation level. What would be the difference? Well, if I want to send them to different QR code or different landing pages throughout the automation and different shipments, then I might specify it that way. Now if I only have one URL that I want them to go to, putting it on the automation level is perfectly fine, and I would simply add it there, and I don't need it here. The system looks first to the shipment level for a URL to fill in that dynamic QR code field. If there is not one there, it'll go to the automation and see if there is a URL there. If there is not an URL there, then it will be blank. Technically, the system will look to the contact to see if there's a URL associated with it, but the work to put a URL with each and every contact is a little more tedious, and this is a more efficient method. Once I finish this, I want to make sure I save changes. Now, if I have, so notice here too, it'll show me that there's a QR code in this automation. When I'm here, I can add multiple shipments. All of your shipments don't have to have QR code merge fields on them, but they can. So if I were to come in and want to send this one, maybe this one does not have a QR code, it doesn't matter. Notice I hit enter and I forgot to change the time frame on when it sends. So I can come back in, edit, and make it 5 days later or whatever my desire in there. Now notice this one doesn't have the purple highlight. That's okay. That just means that I don't have a URL associated in this shipment. Now if there were a dynamic QR code in this greeting card, then the URL that is on this automation level, because it is here, it would create a dynamic QR code for it. And this is kind of how they work. Now from here, you can do one of two things. When we're in the automation, after you've created your automation, and when you start getting scans, you'll get a text message if your phone is verified in the system, and you'll also get a notification in your little bell symbol up next to the cart that will show you who has scanned your dynamic QR code, and it will show you literally by name. And then you can also come into this button here for analytics, and in the analytics you can see who has scanned the QR code. By clicking here, it'll give you the data and the details on that. From there, of course, you still need to add recipients, so you'll be sure to add your group and activate it should you decide to do that. And that is how dynamic QR codes work. As a reminder, do not send them through the cart. The cart will not have a URL to associate with the dynamic QR code